This is Beverly Main Street's On the Spot, and today we are here with Joe Zello and John Weaver of Zello and Weaver Architectural Firm. They're located at 59 Park Street. Some of you might remember this as the old Wilkes-Craft building. They've done a great job in transforming this into an architectural studio over the last 4 years. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Doing great, Lee.
Good. And give us an update. What are some of the latest projects that you have been involved in here?
Well, what we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years probably, we've been very active with the Beverly Main Streets group. So we are very active on the design committee and also member of the board of directors. And so we have a strong concern about what's happening in Beverly. One of the things up here on the wall on the right, we did some work this spring creating as we were looking at doing an arts district competition. We had a competition for a grant. We did a series of studies. This one up on the top here is an idea right at 301 Cabot Studios of a potential building for Montserrat that could happen back in there. So as we've been involved with Main Street, we've gotten to know people at Montserrat. We've gotten to know the folks at Endicott. We've done a little bit of work with Dick Wiley at Endicott on looking at some buildings and how those might be fixed up in the future.
That would be an impressive transformation for Cabot Street. Looks pretty good.
Oh, thank you. We started, we had a whole team of people with Main Street who have a lot of interest, starting at where you come over the bridge and what happens on Cabot Street as well as what happens on Rantoul Street. So we did a whole series of sketches. That's just one of those. Sure.
And what about commercial work, regular clients?
Commercially, well, we do a lot of work with Goldberg Properties. We've done some work in their offices. We've done some work for some housing that they have. We also do a lot of work with Simon Properties, who owns a lot of malls in the area. Actually, they own a lot of malls around the country. And then we've done work up in Ipswich. One of the developers we've worked on, we've done some renovations to some shopping centers, both in Marblehead and Ipswich, up in Georgetown. So what we try to do is get around to the places on the North Shore. We're trying to be a firm on the North Shore and doing business here.
Give me some examples of your work along Beverly's main drag here, Cabot Street.
Well, on Cabot Street, we did some work with Chianti, Rich Marino over there. We helped him envision his new jazz club, and we did a new storefront for him there. We've been working with Tom Carnevale this past spring. We have a new paint scheme and some signage that are going to go on his building, looking to transform the City Diner, A&B Dental, the Hobby Shop, those shops there. And then also over on Rantoul Street, we did do some work with Marino's Sub Shop. We've been regular diners there. They have a great menu. We
Marino's
go there a lot.
Cafe, if you will.
Marino's Cafe, yeah. So we helped them with their Main Street proposal, which was to do a storefront there,
Sure.
Canopies and stuff.
And maybe some new opportunities will come along with the new garage coming to that area.
With all the new business going on Rantoul Street, we look forward to being part of all that.
Great. What made you select Beverly for your headquarters?
Well, that was very simple. When I live in Marblehead, my partner lives up in Rockport. When we started the firm, he had a nice little office in Rockport, so I decided to work out of Rockport for a couple of years. It was a really long drive every day.
Okay,
so
another commute.
So as we're driving down Cabot Street every day, we decided that I saw an advertisement for a meeting at Beverly Main Streets, and I ended up going to it, and I met some of the Main Street people and started getting active in Beverly Main Streets. And one thing led to another, and we had the opportunity to get this space, and I think we're going to be here for a while.
That's nice. You have a great open floor plan, and it provides lots of space to display all your sketches for finished and work about to be completed. I'm going to switch over to another part of the studio and talk to John Weaver here about the residential side of the company. Beverly Main Street's on the spot. I'm here with John Weaver, who accommodates the residential architectural design and spec work for Zello and Weaver here on Park Street in Beverly.
Hi, Lee. This is our little studio where we do a lot of residential as well as commercial and other work. And we really want to say thank you to Beverly on the spot to come and see what we do here. One of our most interesting projects that we have on the box right now is a remake of a 1970s era fantasy house done by a major architect in Rockport. And now it's being renovated and updated to today's standards. But it lasted for 50 years on the ocean, and now we're making it much more modern.
Great. And this house is located where?
It's in Rockport, right on Gap Head Road, overlooking the Strait Smith Island.
Okay, we have a
Yep.
standard architectural cardboard model, and I see some great sketches of what's to come here.
Conceptual of the building, and then where we're going, both day and night. But the process we're working through is really one of making everything fit and making everything work the way it should. So we start with, it's really a process of lots and lots of sketches, lots of drawings. I mean, we don't just come up with a great idea the first time.
How long does it take once you meet with a client to envision what you think the client would appreciate?
That varies depending on obviously the scope of the work, but a project like this could take a year or two from start to finish. Something as simple as a new dormer addition or something like that could take a couple of weeks. It really sort of scales to the appropriateness of the size of the project.
I see. And how do people get in touch with you if they want to set up an appointment?
Well, we're in the book, Zello and Weaver Architects. We also a lot of word of mouth and through your local builder most of the time, because we do a lot of work directly with builders. Google has got us on tap as well.
How many home projects can you accommodate during the course of a year?
20 or 30 without any problem. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And how big is staff?
Right now we have 6. There's 6 of us here in the firm.
And then is there any particular trend in home design that
energy.
you see developing?
Absolutely. Energy is definitely the place where people are spending their money. It's not any of the glamour work that you get to see like a new bathroom, but by updating the energy performance of your windows, your doors, your ceiling, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run. And so the newer designs are trying to make up with the newer products that way.
Sure. And have you been able to incorporate active or passive solar in any of your recent designs?
Absolutely. This project that we're working on now will have a very major passive solar element in this greenhouse structure here and here. But in addition, we'll also have active solar photovoltaics to generate power. We've also done several solar heating systems recently.
Thank you, John. Well, you've heard it from an expert, and this would be a good guy to contact if you want to update your house, either in the design or an energy efficient capacity. This is Lee Yaffa for Beverly Main Streets. This is Beverly Main Street's On the Spot, and today we're on the spot with Paul Guanci, a familiar figure around town. He is chair of the city council, and he is the owner and chef supreme here at Super Sub in downtown Beverly. Hi, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Always good to see you, Lee.
How long has the shop been here?
My father actually opened the business up in 1970. And we've been here since. I like to say that we're Beverly's oldest continually run restaurant, family-run restaurant.
And you're open 7 days a week?
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday. The minute the bread gets here, we get bread delivered every day. The minute the bread gets here, we open up. We close at 9 o'clock, and Sundays we take it a little easy. We don't open up until 10, and we stay open till 7.
And what's a good opening hour? What time in the morning you get here?
I have somebody that gets here every morning at 5:30.
Really?
A lot of prep work because we make everything from scratch.
Sure.
and keep everything fresh. So we do the same things every day.
And what is Beverly's favorite super sub?
Oh, it would definitely be cheesesteaks. That's one thing that we've done the same way since 1970. We use a cut of meat, and we go through it, we get it in fresh, and have a system so it works out nice, and that would be our #1 seller throughout the years.
Good, and I see you have a full menu array here of subs. And is there any plans to expand the menu at all? Anything new coming down the line?
Well, you always think about what more you can do. Our sandwich menu is pretty much solid as it is. We do a lot more catering now. We started catering back in the 1990s as a way to diversify the business. Because years ago, in 1970, here in Beverly, there were 3 places to get a sandwich when my dad opened. When we opened, it was us, Kaiser's, which was on Rantoul Street, and then Tillis's, which is still up on Cabot Street in a different form. It's changed ownership throughout the years. But now, there's a sandwich shop, there's a pizza shop on every corner here in Beverly, and the population has remained the same. So to remain competitive and make it a worthwhile venture, you have to diversify, and we've done that with our catering operation.
And you have a good amount of parking right here out front.
Well, you could always use more. There's always an issue about Roundy Street here being a one-way. There was talk years ago when I got on the city council about making it only one way after our parking lot, and that didn't go over that well with Sergeant Tarsick. So there are times when this one way is enforced and times when it's not. We could definitely use more parking, but we make do.
It's a great location. You're right here at Route 62 and Cabot Street.
Yeah, my directions have always been, if you don't know where we are and you're coming from the highway, get off on the Route 62 exit 22E. Take a right off the exit and follow it until you have to take a left or a right, and we're right here on the corner.
And your firm, Creative Caterers?
Casual
Caterers,
catering.
excuse me, does a fair amount of business in town during the year.
We do. We have a reputation of being very, very generous to our nonprofits and our schools, and with Beverly Bootstraps and some other places that we try and donate what we can. And when organizations that are looking to make money or trying to save money, we're usually good about working out deals and giving people a discount or a break.
That's very good and supportive of you. And I'm sure casual catering is very creative. And speaking of creative, I see a huge 3-foot long sub roll here.
Right.
What would normally go inside that,
Something
baby?
we do. Our most popular 3-foot sandwiches would be a regular Italian. So you have all your Italian cold cuts loaded up with lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, hot peppers. Just need a day notice because we don't get this bread in every day. Great around the holidays. Great to bring to a party on the weekend. Great for a football game. Easy, affordable. We cut them nice and put them on a board. So it's a nice display also. One of the many things we do. And another big thing that we do with our catering operation, which is very popular as of late, is our cheesesteaks. We make big pans of cheesesteak and give you rolls on the side, and take it to go or drop off or delivery. And I know we've done a lot for the Beverly High School sports. The kids seem to like that also.
Sounds great. I'm sure it might take me a day to eat that.
I don't know. I think you could, 2 guys can knock off one of those sandwiches.
Well, Paul, thank you very much
All right.
again. And Paul has a great tagline, and he sure doesn't look like my mother, but maybe he can cook as good as her. We'll find out.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
This is BevCam on the Spot. I'm Lee Yaffa, your host, and today we are with Mike Wheeler, the relatively new president of Beverly Cooperative Bank here in downtown Beverly, the Cabot Street office. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. And when was the bank founded?
The bank was founded in 1888 in Beverly. We've had several locations in Beverly. I think this is the 3rd location that the bank has been located at. At one point in time, there was the big fire in Beverly, and the bank was burnt down. And this is the result of the bank being burnt down. It's a new building. We remodeled the building about 13 years ago.
And how many other branches do you have now?
We have 4 offices total, 1 in Salem and 3 in Beverly, including the main office.
And we know this is a bank and that people make deposits and you lend money out. What else does a bank do for the community?
A community bank is what we define ourselves as, is somebody that's vested in the community. We spend time with employees working in the community, money, donations. This bank specifically, under Bill Howard, has been really vested in Beverly, Salem, and all the local communities.
And you have any plans ahead as a new president? And when did you start your term as president of the bank?
Well, I've been at the bank for 13 years. My previous position was the senior loan officer for the bank. As of January 1st, I was promoted to president. So I'm just about finishing up my first year as president at the bank, and it's been a great transition. Bill is a great leader, and he is. I've adopted an institution that has no problems and is in really good condition.
And the bank itself, has your asset base grown in the last few years? We know you do a lot of mortgages within the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bank itself over the last 5 years has definitely grown. We've definitely see a transition from larger banks to small community banks, especially with the mergers and more specifically the local mergers that have happened of recent. So it's been very beneficial for us, and we've been up to the task of taking on all the new customers.
And what are the banking hours here?
The banking hours are 8:30 to Monday through Wednesday, 8:30 to 4, and there's variable banking hours, but this branch specifically on Thursday we're open till 8 o'clock. Friday we're open till 8 o'clock, and on Saturdays I believe it's 9 to 1.
And how many employees overall does the bank have today?
We have 77 employees. I think it's about 55 full-time employees between the 4 offices.
And you're a big supporter of Beverly Main Streets and other organizations. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, we are definitely supported of all the organization in Beverly, whether it's Main Streets, Rotary, Montserrat School for Art, Endicott College. They're very important to the development and growth of Beverly and to maintain a viable community. And the bank has been very vested in that process.
Speaking of artwork, I noticed you have an exhibit in the back gallery. How often does that change, and who are the artists on exhibit at this present time? We're in November 2012.
Yeah, Bill Howard, 3 or 4 years ago, wanted to soften up the walkway, so he invited some local artists to come in and hang up their photography or paintings, and it's a tradition we've kept ever since. It's been pretty popular. Last month, we had Kathy Archer. She had an exhibit, Turban Towels. This month, it's Davis Osborne with some still life photos, and they really brighten up the area and give customers something to look at that's pleasant.
And on the opposite wall, you have a great series of historical photographs about the bank and the community.
Yeah, the history of the bank is really important to the customers and to management and to the directors. And we thought we'd be able to bring that to life a little bit by putting some photographs up there to remember the history of the bank, the presidents all the way back to the first president in 1888 forward. And it's worked out really well. You see a lot of customers reading the stuff on the wall quite frequently.
Thank you, Mike. There's parking both in front here at Cabot Street and in the back lot that's been renovated.
That's correct. The parking, both spots are metered. There are 4 parking spaces right behind the bank that are included in the bank and are free, but all the other parking spaces are municipal parking spaces.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much. Unlike our other shops, I trust there's no free samples here, but we certainly appreciate your time, and thanks for letting us visit today.
Thank you.